Okay, so a special tuning note with this one. Listening to the recorded version, it sounds like they're about a quarter of a pitch low than standard tuning. So not quite a half step to E flat or any of that, but just right in between there. So it's kind of a unfriendly kind of key that they're using there. It's like a micro pitch difference. So if you're trying to play along with the recorded version, just remember they're about a quarter of a pitch low. So you could, if you want, you could just kind of like drop everything just slightly, try to match them. So kind of an unusual thing there. But for our purposes here, I'm just going to keep it in just a regular standard E tuning, so E, A, D, G, B, E. But, special note with that if you're trying to play with the recorded version. And there's definitely multiple guitars going on, left and right, and definitely a lot of layers. And then there's even a lot of, probably in-studio type effects, like some volume swelling stuff, or even like some reverse sounding stuff. So I'm going to try the best here to like combine everything and give the best interpretation of what some of these effects are kind of doing. So we'll give this a shot here. This initial intro section, we got our two left and right guitars going. I'll show each one. So the left guitar, it's just doing a 2-note thing, and it's hanging out here with like a B note and an E note, and it just kind of hits the B, and I'll do like a 4G and a 5B here. So hit the 4G, maybe a little hesitation, then a 5B, and then just crank out 4G, 5B 4 times. Something like that. And it just repeats that. And the second guitar, the one on the right, it's doing kind of a bass note, alternating between a B note. So it kind of breaks down like the main progression, I would say. Like it starts here with this C look. So we want a 3A and a 2D, but we're gonna, alternate pick with this B note, the 4 on the G. Okay, so we want the 3A, 2D, and we want that 4 on the G. Alright, with this, we're gonna hit it, and we're gonna hesitate a little bit with the 3 and the 2, then hit the 4G, then go right from the 3 and 2 to the 4 and G. And then there's like a little bit of a hesitation, and then we just get to the next bass note, which is the open D string, and we're just going to go between that and the 4G, and there's a little bit of a hesitation between the first open D to the 4G, and then we crank out open D, 4G a couple more times. So it's like, so we went, alright, and then the next bass note we just do a 2 on the D for the E note, and we just kind of pick that the same way, hit it, and then a little bit of hesitation, 4G, and then just go between the 2 and the 4, 2 and the 4 a few times, and that just repeats. Alright, so those two guitars are doing their thing simultaneously, but if you want to try to combine both of them into something, and this is kind of what's happening for the chorus as well, so it can work for that or work for this. Maybe in the intro you just kind of make it a little more not as full strumming, just kind of picking the basic notes, but you could try this as well. So this is also good for the chorus pattern, basically just combining those two guitars in a new spot here, something that we can just give like full strums to and just kind of get bigger to make the chorus a little more dynamic. So we're going to start with our same kind of C bass notes here, but here in this position we're going to have the 8E, 7A, and then we're going to pretty much hang on these 9 of the D and G, and then a constant like open B and E string with it. This is kind of a nice like C major kind of vibe. Alright, and it's that same kind of feel, like hit the notes, little hesitation, the chord, bass notes, chord. Okay, and I kind of like to do like a up hit with it, like down hit the bass notes and then up hit the chord. Helps me kind of like get the rhythm of it. Just me. If you want to just down strum, up to you, not a big deal. Alright, and then we want our D, so I just kind of lift everything off, and you want to like avoid hitting the open D and the A, or sorry, the open E and the A, but you want this open D string. So you just kind of lift your ring finger off. So now we're just kind of hitting like the 9G with the open B and E under it. And it's that same kind of feel as previous, like hit the open D chord, open D chord, back and forth. Something like that. So we went. Alright, and now we get to our E note. So just kind of make like an E power chord up here, like the 7A with the 9 on the D and G, and then we're going to have our open B and E under it, and it's the same feel there. Hit the 7 on the A, and then the chord, 7A, go back and forth. Right, and just kind of cycle that. So that's basically what's happening during the chorus there. There's, some other leads happening as well, so I'll show you those in a bit. For this next section, this is what's happening kind of after the initial chorus, when everything kind of comes in. And this also happens after the choruses. So, second part of the intro and post-chorus. And remember, this is all like about a quarter step low, so don't forget that. And with this one, we're just kind of like riding a big E5 chord, so you can just do the open low E, the 7A, 9D, and G with the open B and E. And with this, it's just kind of like hitting right on beat. And then you can do a little shuffle on it. You can, skip a count, up to you, just kind of like riding this chord. So that cranks through, about four sets of 8 strums or so. And the second guitar is doing a lead over the top of it, which we just do a little octave thing with the A and G. So come up to the 14A, 16G, we kind of slide up to that, and then go to 12 and 14. Hold that for a moment, and then we slide up to 9 and 7, 9 and 11, and then go to 7 and 9. So that's the second guitar over the second part of the intro, and the lead guitar does a little something different during the choruses. So once we get into the verse, this is where we start getting this kind of interesting, like maybe they're doing some kind of like layered volume swell guitar, or like kind of like a reverse effect that you see a lot. It kind of like swells it in and makes it sound like it's going in reverse. So definitely some interesting like effects or studio stuff going on here. And if you listen to the live version of this, he's definitely doing something else instead of this. So just kind of lets you know that they're doing some funky studio type stuff at this part. So I'll give you my best interpretation of what's happening here. Basically, you would just kind of want to add these 3 notes that kind of swell in and out, and it's all centered around that same big E5 look. So I do like the open E, 7A, 9 on the D and G, and I kind of make like I'm gonna do like a minor thing here, but I just lightly have my middle finger touching the 8 on the B string, not pressing it, because I just want it muted for now. But I need to bar all of these 7s on the, all the way down to the high E, because that's the note that we want here. But like I said, I'm muting the B string here just by lightly touching it and not pressing down. Okay, it can be a little bit tricky. You just want to make sure it's all barred and all the notes you want are there. So okay, keep that muted. Keep that 7 on the high E. And it's basically like we're hitting this, and it's just like a real light shuffling strum, like a hit, once more, couple closer, once, few together. Real kind of arbitrary light shuffling strum here, so just kind of get a feel for like what maybe the drums are doing and follow that. So it'll be like something. Okay, you're just kind of wanting to make sure this note pops in every bit, Alright, and then I leave off that note, and then I want this 8 on the B now. So we, alright, because it's making like this minor vibe. Alright, and with this one, you give it kind of a strum, a few more, once more. Alright, and then now the note we want to focus on is lifting the pinky so that we end up with a 7 on the G, keeping everything else. And if you want to mute the B, that's cool. I just kind of like dunk all the way down to it when I hit it, because I'm just really wanting that note now. And that's just kind of like a few strums, you know, once. Something like that. So we're going something like this. Alright, so it's basically just the whole E5 with those 3 notes just kind of swelling in and out. And you know, if you don't need to mess with all that, or you're not really like trying to like nail exactly what's happening in this verse, you can also just kind of strum some basic stuff for this, like just hit the big E5 and then just hit a minor and then just the E7. Okay, so just play around with it, different voicings for those chords. I put the names of the chords there, so if you want to try other stuff, you can do that. And I think like for the live version, he does something like that. He just kind of takes an E power chord and slides it up to a G power chord or something. So different stuff you can play around with there. With the pre-chorus here, we get kind of some similar swelling in type vibes or reverse effects going on, but I just kind of shift to like a bottom strings look here, because the bass note starts moving around here too. So now we want like this F sharp 7 sus thing going on, and basically I just keep the 9s on the D and G, 7 on the B and E, and it's that same kind of loose shuffling vibe, and it kind of resolves to a B, so 9D, 8G, 7B and E, and just strum these out all the same to an E minor now, so just 9D, 9G, 8B, 7E. Now we slide up to this like A6 sus2 thing, so just come on up to 9D, 11G, 10B, and you can throw in like a high E open with it. Alright, now we go for a C major 7. So with this, just do the 9 D and G, leave like an open B and then a 7E. And with this chord, we go to a D6, no 3 or something, so it's just that same shape, and just drop it down 2 frets. So we got a 7D, 7G, open B, 5E. And those 2 chords go twice. And once the first chorus gets here, it's the same progression that we had earlier, that kind of main chorus, you know, like the 2 intro parts together basically. But now we have 2 different chorus leads, a left and a right, on top of that. So a lot of layers going on with these guitars. The first guitar left does this bit on the G string, to slide up to 9, 2nd fret, 4th fret. And it just repeats that. Alright, and the second guitar on the right does this bit on the B and E string, 7B with the open high E, strums them both 3 times, and then just goes to 5th fret, strums that out about 5 times, and repeats that. Alright, and the only other kind of different element that comes in the song is the second chorus. We get a switch of the right lead part, and it's doing kind of an octave thing here, that same A and G octave, but it basically takes the 12 and 14, slides it down to 9 and 11, strums that out a few times, slides that down to 7 and 9, and strums out a couple times. Alright, So other than that, hopefully you find something that can make the song work for you. Feel free to like experiment, try different chord voicings, you know, if those aren't quite working for you and you just kind of want to do basic chords or whatever. Play around with it, have fun, and you should be all set.